This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monty Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carrie Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value, and there's a whole lot of it
There
out there.
is, and you can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com. Carrie Ann, it's been a while.
It has been a while. Happy New Year. It's 2020. It's 2022. There we go.
2022.
What
yes.
year are we in?
Yes.
Woo woo.
Yes. I don't know where last year went. I got a feeling this one's going to go just as fast. So hang on.
Hang on.
Hang on. We've got an awesome guest with us today that's going to talk about one of the most important things you as a realtor need to consider on every one of your listings, or, well, we won't go to the or, but before we get into that, let's talk about our sponsor.
Yes, thank you so much to Music City Removal. They're the #1 junk removal service in Nashville from residential, commercial, and construction. They're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. So whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free online estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, Music City Removal, because clutter ain't cute, nor are those cell phone pictures, huh?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We have with us, Matt. So, Matt, are you the owner, co-owner? Let's talk about...
Who are you, Matt?
Who are you, Matt?
Excuse me. Matt Booker, co-founder, partner of Real 3D Space.
Real 3D Space.
Love it.
And I'm telling you, when I let me tell you a quick story, Carrie, and you might remember this last time we had Matt on, but I found Matt through my competition.
Oh, look at you.
I was, Connie and I were about to sell our home in Brentmead, and I had brought out my photographer that I've been using at the time. Super nice people and just an awesome guy. And, but when I saw my neighbor's pictures looking so much better than mine, I thought, what the hell? I can't. I mean, I know that I know our home looks better than this one, but I've always gotten on people's face, or not on their face, but on their, in their case when they said, well, the pictures could look better.
Sure.
I'd always say, well, if you want better pictures, you bring a better face, right? Not everybody can bring yours, but you bring if you want a better looking home,
Sure.
get a better looking home. But anyway, so I reached out to her and I said, who in the heck did your photos? And she talked about this place called Real 3D Space. And she said, they're a little higher than other companies, but my gosh, what an incredible value. And so I reached out to them and saw what they provided in this thing called the Game Changer, which we're going to get into, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Well, I want to really understand
Love
this
that.
Game Changer. I love the title of it. So I had already paid for my photos for my home, but when I saw what the Game Changer includes, I said, okay, sweetheart, this is my wife. I said, sweetheart, we're going to double up on our photos with this house, because I think that even though it's a hot market, even though our home will sell if a monkey's tied out to the front of it, right now I want to leverage our experience by giving the best exposure that we can for it.
Yeah.
As we, as real estate professionals, should be doing every time we have a chance to represent someone, by the way. And wow, were we wowed. We really were, Matt.
Awesome. I would argue that we are a little lower than everybody as far as price goes.
Well, as far
Okay.
as value, absolutely.
Yeah,
As far
so
as what you get.
if you're looking at just pictures, we will be a little higher. We're on average $50 extra. But if you look at what is included in the Game Changer, we are 2/3 lower than
No
any
question.
other option you have.
No question. For years before your company was ever born, before most of the photography work that's being done today, I was going on Channel 4 and showing before and after pictures. This home sat on the market for 6 months, didn't sell. I took the listing, I took the photos, and it sold in a day. Same price, different photos. And I many times I went on Channel 4 to show the difference, because I was trying to elevate the expectation of the consumer out there, so they in turn would elevate the expectation or the willingness or the demand on that professional out there. And we didn't have anything that remotely accomplished what your Game Changer does here. So let's break it down. You made a really important observation there, is that if you're just looking at photos, if you're just looking at the price, we might be $50 higher.
Yeah.
But let's talk. I want everybody, by the time they watch this, I want them to understand why I am so excited and why I asked you to come on a second time, because Carrie Ann will say that, or will acknowledge that doesn't happen very often. We bring somebody in a second time, okay? Because I feel it's so important, guys. If you want to succeed, find somebody successful and do what they do. Okay, yours truly here has been selling homes a long time. I know some people think I'm a little cynical and maybe a little over the edge on some topics, but photos I will not back off on. Okay, I won't, because that is the representation of what that home stands for, and you're asking that consumer to put not only their trust in you, but then to compensate you really well for that opportunity. And you use your cell phone, or you use another company because it's cheaper, and that is that home as far as that buyer's looking at. And Connie and I think I shared this. Connie and I just bought a house down in Florida a while back, and thank you, Carrie Ann, for financing it for us. And when we were searching for real estate down there, like so many people are searching for Nashville real estate, we were starving for more photos, more information, a tour guide, a guided, the more information about the area and all this. We were starving for that. And I mean, even going back into decades before to see what photos that maybe that weren't in, because there weren't that many photos included in the homes we were interested in.
Right.
I would have gladly, as a buyer, would have paid for this.
Photos to me are just the introduction, the appetizer. They'll get somebody's interest, but they need more. Today online, I want to be able to do a virtual tour. I want to see what the neighborhood looks like. I want to know what vicinity this room is to that room, and how do I get there, and a picture of a room tells me nothing other than what the room looks like. It doesn't tell me where it's at in the house. It doesn't tell me if I have enough space. It doesn't tell me all these things. So as a buyer, you need way more information, and our package delivers that. And makes it easier for agents to, get that information to the buyers, allow them to make better decisions. And, we tell agents all the time, by the time a potential buyer sees this package in its entirety, they're going to be a serious potential buyer at that point. They're not reaching out just to ask basic questions that you could have given them without wasting your time.
They can find it all right there with everything that you provide with the Game Changer. Yeah, I think... there's so many people that don't live here locally that are craving, like you said, you are here, you're looking in Florida, the folks, majority of the people that are moving, to town, or some of them are out-of-staters,
Absolutely.
And having everything there at their fingertips to be able to make quick decisions, so people aren't wasting each other's time is super, super important. Also, I think it just elevates your brand. I love a good brand. And I think that elevates you. And how cool would it be for you to have these amazing photos that you can continue to put in your portfolio, of all the houses that you've been able to sell over all the years. People work with agents. I saw this the other day. It's not because you close multi-millions of dollars. That's probably maybe meets somebody's needs and wants there, but they're looking for people that have closed similar homes, right? Or sold similar homes. And so if you're able to show me a quick portfolio, I'm like, hey, that's a house that I'm looking for. You were able to help somebody on that house. I want that kind of house. Can you find me that, similar house? I'm able to see that in the beautiful photos that you're able to create, and put something together for years past. So I love it.
And I really want to, before we're done. Go ahead. Before we're done, Matt, I want to go by this Game Changer line by line and better understand each aspect of this, because you've got like 10 different parts of this Game Changer.
Value, and so much value.
And yet there's more, but I think that.
And there's more. I love it.
My point of this is, all this stuff, but the average person watching this this podcast right now is not familiar of the true differences between the person they call, for $100 to come out and take the photos, and all the different aspects that we're talking about here. So I really want to make sure that message is conveyed, because it blows my mind that some of our own agents are still using, and no offense to anybody, God bless them, but when you can see the difference, and if you're listing anything, I mean, it doesn't matter what the price it is, because to me the value is still there. I was on the fringe when I reached out to you guys. I was on the fringe of going to one level above the gigantic one, because my home was 6,000 square feet, and I could have slid in, but I felt like that price was so good that I went ahead and bumped it up and charged myself more, because I felt like I was getting such a great. I know that sounds kind of stupid, probably,
We appreciate it.
But this has been such a sensitive topic for literally decades with me. I mean, I spent money out of my own pocket to go on Channel 4 and say, look, this is a home that sat for now. Right now, the market is hot, okay? But guess what's going to happen? This market will change someday. Are you going to start stepping up to the plate then as a professional, or are you going to go ahead and start creating habits now that will, as you mentioned, influence your brand, but not only influence your brand, but influence the dollar amount that you're getting for your clients. Connie and I, again, could have gone the lesser expensive route, and we would have sold our home for more than what we were asking, but we got a lot more than we got over $250,000 more than we were asking, and we priced it higher than anything had ever been priced in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me, Matt, that you guys didn't have something to do with that. Mm-hmm.
That's a huge win. Also, if I'm in the buyer's seat, right, and you come to me, it would be amazing for me to not just you tell me that you can sell my house fast for the most money, but these are all the extra values you provide, right? Meaning it does elevate you and differentiate you from the next, right?
Well,
just by connecting with a great professional like yourself.
There's two sides to the product. So one is for the agent and one is for the buyer. What does this product actually need to do for you guys as a product itself? Pictures, give the most information possible, make it a simple, easy, smooth process, not have to a la carte 17 different things to get what I need. It's one package, one simple price, depending on square footage. That's how we base it. And that's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. You don't need anything else. There's a couple of other add-ons that you can do if you want to get fancy, but you don't have to have it. It's not going to, but then so that's for your client, your buyers, your sellers. But the other half is for you as the agent. And so
I think that's where sometimes there's a disconnect where people aren't seeing the difference.
Right. And so I would say the listing presentation is for the agent and the agent alone. It serves your seller.
Right.
The video SEO is for you and the branding of your business to help you grow, give consistent content, and for it to stay there long after the listing's sold and gone. The pictures come down, it's done. So, when you can go to your next seller, your next listing presentation and open up a portfolio and show 15 homes that I've marketed in the past year with this method, that's going to let that seller know that, hey, this works.
There's some confidence
there. They know what they're talking about.
There's some confidence there.
Huge,
so, I mean, that's was the biggest focus of putting a package that was, too good to be true, really. Priced great. And, I mean, it's priced insane for what it is. And it's a very simple and smooth process, but we also pride ourselves on consistency of the product and the package and the shoots. And our training process is insane. Our editors and our edit team are amazing. And I am blown away a lot of the times by looking at some of the raw footage that comes in and some of the stuff. And then I come back. Now, that doesn't mean that they're false advertising anything, but it's the presentation is everything. So we do a really good job of that. Better than everybody else.
I love that. Well, we've been talking about price, but we haven't shared what the price is. We holding off?
Let's share what the package is.
Yeah, so that's what. But before we do, though, Matt, one thing I just dawned on me. I think why, because you hit on something really, really really critical, and I know for a fact, Carrie Ann, that you can relate to this as well.
Yeah.
Because we know what we bring to the table. Okay, and. You think it's insanely because you're looking at the competitors. You're looking at the industry. You've looked at it for a long time. You're well familiar with it. Just like you, when you bring your heart and soul and your experience and your untold hours of excellence and always sharpening the sword, always getting better, you bring that to the table, and somebody might go online and get a XYZ from whoever, wherever, and choose them because the rate was a tenth of a point difference or whatever. And I know what we bring to the table. I know it. I mean, there's, how many times have I sat around this table, interviewing somebody, and they said, well, I don't get it. What's the catch? How do you make any money? You relate to the same situation there because you're not making very much money. You can't be making very much money on this. But anyhow, my point of all that is simply, I think that's why I have such feel a kindred spirit with you as well as this lady here, is because you're bringing it all to the table on a value that cannot be argued.
Yeah.
Cannot be argued. And you've sacrificed in the process to get to the point of profitability because you've given it all.
Yeah, if we wanted to just make money, we would have went with a completely different model.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, we wanted to bring value and really help agents grow and build their brand.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And
that's what I'm
built
talking
a product around that idea.
That's what I'm talking about.
And so, I mean, that's just what we did. Everything that we do is based on that because we know if we help enough agents, we won't have to worry about the rest.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Amen. So I'm gonna list these 10 things that are included in the Game Changer, and I want you to. I'll list them one at a time, and then you break it down for us. Okay? Can you do that?
Break it down. Break it down.
So what's the immersive 3D? Is that? Let's talk about that. That's number one. Immersive 3D.
Immersive 3D is a 4K 3D rendering of a property, and so we take a camera, go in and scan the interior of the home, and it will build a 3D rendering of the property, giving the person ability to take a virtual tour. They can look up, down, left, right, go. It eliminates the use for a custom video because I can show you what I want in a video and I can not show you things that I want. The buyer needs information. I know sometimes we don't want them to see certain things, but they're thinking about buying that property. They need to see it. Mm-hmm. So they can look at anything they want, however long they want. We've had people tell us, we've had agents come back and say, my buyer's made a decision because the wife sat and looked at the countertops for 6 hours on the virtual tour, and she decided to do it because she can every little angle and every which way. That's what made her decision.
I'm telling you, when you're buying from afar, right before I came in here today, I talked to an executive in California who wants to buy somewhere between $3 to $5 million worth of single family homes here, and information is what he's looking for. Yeah. And guess who's going to be the choice of properties is the one that we provide the most information to.
So I drove 2.5 hours to see a property because what I thought I was going to see wasn't so much what I saw when I got there. So this is important for sure. It sounds very fancy, and I like fancy things.
So number 2, drone video. I think most of us know what that is, but let's talk about that.
So what do you not see with the
that's what I'm saying. 3D. Who are my neighbors? Can you see like the surrounding area?
So you show me a picture of the house. Now you could be leaving stuff out that's valuable, or you could be hiding things or whatever. Mm-hmm. Either way, I want to know. Mm-hmm. Before I waste my time as a buyer, I want to know how much room do I have? Mm-hmm. What's the neighborhood look like? How much land? What's the land look like? You tell me how much it is, but I don't know what it looks like. Mm-hmm. Is it right in front of the waste management company on the other side of the fence? Mm-hmm. You never know.
No, the buyer wants to know that, but the listing agent possibly doesn't want to highlight that.
Yes.
How do you work through that part? Because there's probably a reason why the house 2.5 hours away forgot the rest of the story.
Yes. So, hey, they're going to find out one way or the other.
They're going to find out.
So
Paul Harvey, the rest of the story.
It's like using your 1920 or your photo on a dating site that it was taken 30 years ago.
We don't want to
and who's going to show up at that date then?
Right. If it were me and I was in the listing agent's position, I would want to put everything out on the table because the facts are the facts, and that's what it is. Sure. And it's not going to waste my time.
Especially in today's world, we live in a
get it out there.
Skeptical society. But when in doubt, disclose is my motto.
How many showings do you want to go to and waste your time dealing with the same thing because you're hiding something?
So moving on, MLS
photos. That's a given.
So that's what everybody else pays $125 to $150 for, just that one thing.
Correct.
Okay.
And ours I would say ours look, they're up there on the list.
Yeah.
Well, that helps also because,
Yeah.
again, we're prepping the buyer's agent to get their buyer excited about our property, right? So that would be a huge win for all. So that's a good. Check that one.
360 photos.
What's
Let's
that?
talk about that.
360-degree photos are a interactive media that you see on Facebook when you move the phone and the phone moves around, or you can turn, look at different angles. It's basically a 360-degree panoramic, and we deliver, I would say, on average 5 highlights of the home. So if it's got a killer master bathroom, or if it's got
nice.
a cool deck on the back or something like that, you're definitely going to get 360 images, and they're just like something to share on social media. One more little
interest,
thing,
flair,
to draw
exactly.
some attention.
I like that.
The next one is property website.
So a property website is a link that we host that will highlight and host all the content that we create on that property.
Wow.
So there will be one link that you can share via, you could text message somebody the link, you can send it to them in an email or whatever. It will have the 3D, the drone video, the MLS photos. It's branded to the agent. It has their contact information, a custom bio, and it's one-click social media sharing all in one place.
Next one, online gallery. I love that.
The online gallery is where you download, as the agent, your content. So your drone video, you can upload it to your own YouTube channel. You can put it on Facebook as an ad. You can download that. You download your MLS pictures, and you download the 360 pictures and the other content that we deliver as well. That's kind of your private, password protected link that you get.
Okay.
Listing presentation is the next item, and that's the value is right there. I mean,
Yeah.
Nothing else was done. That's the deal.
So agents can actually, if they don't know, you can actually go to our website right now and get a free branded listing presentation before you even become a client. And so you fill out a short little form, and we'll give you a custom branded listing presentation. It has your headshot, your contact information, and you could start to use the listing presentation before you even have used us before. What the listing presentation is a short 1-minute video for you to show your potential seller how you plan on marketing your property, the tools you're going to use, the Matterport, the drone. They get to see a short little video, why those things are important, a couple little stats, along with a portfolio. So as you shoot with us and as you build up those property website links, there will be a portfolio link in your listing presentation that will show the last.
See, I'm learning some things that I didn't even know here. This is really important. It's really important.
A show off.
Next thing is the floor plans.
Floor plans are an extension of the Matterport. So as we scan, we also laser scan for the 3D. We laser scan and can measure rooms. And so we deliver floor plans as well, and that's part of the package.
And for those watching,
Yes.
I don't know the last time you had somebody come in and measure rooms in a house so you come up with the ballpark of square footage, but that alone was probably as much as what this whole package is.
Because the proper square footage of true properties sometimes are not actually what people are listing.
That's
right?
right.
We struggle with that a lot.
Yeah.
And then I'm asked a lot, who do you know that can measure a home, right? So this would take care of that for you.
It will give you anything that we scan. It will give you a square footage up to what we scan. So, and that's say we don't scan the closet.
Oh,
a
gotcha.
smaller closet or whatever, like that square footage, it might be plus or minus 50 square foot or something, but you're going to get a ballpark up to 90%.
Yeah, and that's why I said approximately.
But you'll get measurements of rooms and all of that stuff.
Okay.
in the
It's not going to be
floor plans,
as accurate, but it's going to take a
Get
lot
you
of the
close.
mystery away. It's
Yeah.
going to take a lot of the mystery. The next one is print ready flyer.
So-
that alone is worth $100.
Yeah, along.
Are you sure you don't? Are you sure you want to raise the price of this game changer?
I want to. I'm not. We're not going to though. Like we
kidding.
said, we want to take care of these agents, and so we want it to be a no-brainer. It should be, and our biggest challenge is to educate clients, which is what we're doing.
And that's why
here.
we're doing this today. So the print ready flyer. Tell me about that.
Print Ready Flyer is a flyer that we put together that will highlight 4 highlights of the home. It will have your branding and your information, your contact information, and it will also have a little information on the property, custom property description, that kind of thing.
So you can leave it in the listing, they can grab and go.
So you can print it and do that. You can leave it on social media. It's just one more.
Yeah, and in a
more
different
bit.
market, you probably could print them and mail them to certain areas, certain people that possibly would be interested in that type of property.
Yeah.
That's good.
But again, it goes back to your branding. All these things, all these tools. that you're using for your branding, oh, I know that person, they know what they're talking about. I know years ago, I used to work for a guy in town, was #1 agent in the state of Tennessee, Mr. Terry DeSelms, great guy. And I'll never forget that he was a great educator of to the consumer, the seller, to have their home prepared to show right. And so the rest of the real estate community always knew that when they showed one of the DeSelms team's listings, that it would not only be priced right, but it would present itself well. This is the kind of thing you're representing to the community here is this person knows what they're doing. Look at how they've surrounded themselves with professionals that convey that same message. Now, the next one is video SEO. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so the drone video that we create, we host and we also run it through, we Google rank and optimize it to keyworded for the address. And so from this point on, at any point in time, somebody Googles that address, that also works with your name and your brokerage and stuff like that, but not so much as the address. Your drone video will pop up as the first video on search engines.
Wow.
Love it.
Wow. Virtual reality.
Branded to you, by the way. All of it's branded to you. They won't see the house. They'll see you, your contact info. So
virtual reality.
Virtual reality. So the Matterport is also virtual reality ready. So VR ready. So you can put on Oculus goggles and do the thing and walk around and have that experience. And so we've had virtual open houses where agents will bring buyers in and show them multiple Matterport spaces, and they'll put on the goggles and they'll do that. And so it's fun. It's fun.
Wow.
That's.
And number.
I need to get some goggles, huh? I don't have those.
That's pretty
yet.
cool.
And number 12 of the game changer is agent branding, which we basically everything we've been talking about is about agent branding.
Yeah.
I mean, branding is number one requirement in your business, right? To keep you going as long as you have.
Hey, thanks. I just wish that I had a tool like this.
Just so
Hell, I'll be able to go hunt.
Just so funny. Too funny.
The key to this is that these things don't go away.
Yeah.
And so not only are you paying an amazing price to get all of these things, because if you go to a company, you're not going to get a third of this. And then the things that you can get, you're going to pay for our $200 package, you'll pay over $600, $700.
So let's talk about why an agent possibly doesn't do this. Why? Because to me, like if I could give this, if this worked in my industry, this would be a no-brainer. Like I would, in Coaching 101, this is what you need to budget for on a regular basis.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you one of the reasons why.
Okay.
I'll throw. We'll just be fully transparent here. They don't have to spend the money right now in this market.
Okay.
They know that they can pay $99 for some pictures and it'll be good enough and they'll sell the home.
Okay.
But that's that same kind of mentality as the consumer is saying, I don't know that I need to pay a professional to sell my home when right now I could probably tie a monkey with a flyer in their hand to my front porch and it'll probably sell.
Yeah,
if that's as high as your bar is going to get it sold, and shame on the consumer for thinking that way, equally shame on the agent for thinking that way, because that is, guys, and I'm sorry for my rant, I really truly am. I just want to say I'm sorry ahead of time. But this is what I'm fighting for. This is what I'm, passionate about, and that is, we have got to prove to the consumer that we are a much valued asset and not the unneeded extra expense that these tech companies are trying to paint us into being. And as long as we fail to do these kind of things and make sure that the consumer sees our value, then all we're going to do is go to the wayside like the travel industry and other industries have, because they didn't make sure the consumer felt like it was a worthy investment. Okay? Yeah. But if somebody is doing this, I promise you that majority of the consumers that see that kind of effort put into it, they're not going to argue next time when they want to sell their home, doing it on their own. They're going to say, you know what? I remember that agent who did what they did for our property. We're going to call them back.
And I think too, if you look at all agents, if you look at all lenders, you look to see, what they've done and what they've accomplished, and possibly your goal is just to do this and another is to do that. But most of the people that are ranked in the top that we all aim to be like all have quality across their brand, right? Meaning they too know that they don't have to put those quality pictures out there, but they want to make sure that when the market does shift, they're still in a place where nobody could ever question their ability on quality, right? And that's how I look at
Integrity. I mean,
Huge.
it's all connected to that trust factor. Remember, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. There's not a quicker way to trust than to show competency, I think, and that authority, and that you're the expert in your arena. How do you do that? You make sure that each step of the way that you haven't cut corners. And let's talk, speaking about value again, can you believe that this first one here is $195?
Yeah, we still haven't mentioned the price.
We still missed the price. I want to get back to that.
I think that's really why it's been so hard for us as a company to get the message out, to educate the agents, because there's so much here. It's such a huge value.
So confusing.
It is, because if I just ramble this stuff off, which I can, you're like, huh?
Right.
I didn't hear any of that.
Right.
But do you take the pictures? I mean, that's, and see, I think in a lot of the agents' minds, I just need to get pictures of the house, and I've been told not to use my cell phone, so I'm going to call 3 people and find out who's the cheapest.
Before, I forget, you mentioned make the effort. This is the coolest part about this. It's not, there's no effort involved. It's probably harder to deal with. It's way harder to deal with the a la carte this and piece this together. It's one package, square footage, 0 to 2,000 square foot, $195. 2,000 to 4,000 square foot, $295. Every 2,000 square foot, it bumps up $100. And if you do the math on that, it's still an insane value, because you couldn't get the Matterport, somebody just come shoot 3D.
No.
Virtual tour, the immersive 3D, for $200 for 2,000 square foot. On average, it's a 10 cents per square foot deal. So,
back in the day, we would say 2,000 square feet we can only sell it for blank. I mean, the numbers are crazy right now, right? What people are selling their homes for. So for you to only still have to pay $195 or $295 is still crazy, because the percentage of what you're making from a compensation standpoint off of the now new price, right, of that particular home is so much more to help offset that particular cost. And as somebody who coaches newer loan officers too, the hardest thing is, every deal that you have, you need to live, right? You need to be able to cover your costs, right? Yeah. Just in general. But you also, when we coach that you're the CEO of your own business, you have to think about what's the most important within your business, right? And how do you budget that? So if I already budgeted that it's going to cost me an average of $300, let's just say that's probably an average, $300 on every transaction to make it look amazing, the best it can look, and I already budgeted that, then I didn't lose anything because it was already in my routine. Right. And so when I started spending a little bit more money, I noticed the needle started, moving a lot in my particular bank account. Right. So that's a huge win for you, maybe the newer agents out there as well. But if you talk to a senior agent, somebody that is doing multi-millions of dollars, closing many, many, many homes, and have been doing it for years, they're probably going to tell you that this is one of the most important pieces.
And that's why yours truly is harping from the rooftops here on this topic, because if you do nothing, if you're new to the industry and you do nothing else other than hire real 3D space to represent your listings, when you're fortunate enough to get the opportunity to do that, I can assure you that your future is far brighter than if you don't. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
My favorite part about it is seeing new agents, meeting them scared to death. First 2 weeks, they have no idea what's going on. They've been through all these classes, whatever. They're just, so nervous and all that. And say, look, check this out. Oh, and you could try all this for at no cost. We hadn't got there yet, but if you are a first-time agent,
and there's more.
Yeah, there you go. So those are the conversations we had. Is hey, you're a new agent. Check this out. We do this, this, and this. It's only $195. It's the best deal you're ever going to get. I promise you, you can go do your homework, try to find a better deal. If you find one, call me, because I want to know who it is, but you're not. And then, oh, by the way, you could try it. Here's $195 off your first time. Year and a half later, those agents are selling 15 homes a month and just booming and doing their thing, and they're still using us. There's a piece of me that goes, our company helped them do that.
That's right.
You know what I
Amen.
mean?
Oh yeah, and some great marketing that I've seen on social media is where you post all of the houses that you've sold that month, right? And I've seen this one couple that I adore out in Murfreesboro, and they do that, and it's awesome. Meaning the pictures are quality, right? And I scroll in, and I'm like, oh, I would love a house like that, or that looks like my house, and they're so good at selling that house. It's just going to help you in multiple different ways, right? You have to have a reason to continue to touch and reach out to potential customers and clients, right? And this is another way of doing that. Huge.
So
huge,
Matt,
huge.
I really appreciate you coming in today. I know that Carrie Ann does as well.
Yeah, I'm
And-
excited. I
and so-
can't wait to figure out how we can work together.
So, Real 3D Space is the name of the company. Can
Right.
you give us some numbers or some email addresses where people can contact you guys? Okay.
It's all online based. You can call in at 615-355-1000.
355-1000.
So 355-1000, and that you'll reach our customer service, and they will give you a coupon code if you're a first-time agent for your first shoot. Walk
Okay.
you through the whole thing, explain, answer any questions that you have, and after that, go to real3dspace.com, and you could book online. The times and availabilities that you see online will be there. If you see it, we can make it. And
No, let me say
quick
this: I'm
booking.
not the most computer. I'm somewhat computer literate.
I guarantee you could do it. It's not
But
hard.
my point is, I went on there first time, scheduled it.
Yeah.
It was like that easy that I could do it.
It's not difficult at
So
all.
after you take the pictures, how long does it take to normally get the package?
So we have a 72-hour turnaround or guarantee. And
Okay.
so we shoot on Monday. You'll have them by Thursday at the
Wow,
absolute
that's-
latest, or
that's
we'll
fast.
give you your money back. But we have a 48-hour average. So 2 days
Okay.
is a typical delivery time.
Awesome.
Okay.
Shoot on Monday, have your package back Wednesday. If I don't deliver them Thursday, I'll give you your money back.
All right.
Matt Booker, Real 3D Space, the best, without question, in my humble opinion. I've sold a few homes over the years. The best representation of your listing that you can possibly get, guys out there. Please reach out to them. I don't have a dog in the fight. Okay, honestly, understand that he's not paying me a nickel for this. We just appreciate him coming on because we always want to bring value to our clients, which are our agents, and this is one of the best things you can do for your career. I promise you that is represent you and represent those sellers you've been blessed enough to be able to represent out there with nothing but absolute quality. This is a great step in that direction. Thank you, Matt, for
Thank
joining
you,
us
Matt,
today.
for being
We're
here.
so grateful for you, man.
We appreciate it.
See you next time. You've been listening to The Talk of
Bye,
Music
y'all.
City Real Estate. Bye.